I wanted to give you a behind the scenes look at a case study that I've put together of a client that I've recently worked with who wanted to change her career. But imposter syndrome and doubt really was a huge blocker for her and landing a new job or her dream job in her new career. So let's just get into it right away. A little bit more about the client. As I said, she wanted a career change. She was very afraid that she wasn't qualified enough for the roles that she was looking at. And there was a job that she saw that she was particularly interested in and was afraid that she wouldn't be qualified for that. So, just to expand a little bit more on her challenges, the things that we discussed, as I said, she wanted the career change and she had all of the certifications. So, because this was going into a more technical field than she had been in, you do have to have the table stakes. You do have to have some of the knowledge of technology and how to work with technology. But she had done that. She had gotten her certifications in that, but she didn't have a lot of hands-on experience with this technology. So that's where that doubt was really coming from. And she really was afraid of that she was going to be perceived as not being qualified enough because she didn't have the hands-on keyboard technology experience, even though she understood the concepts and all of the and had done well in the certifications. But the biggest thing was it wasn't even so much the fear of doing the job. She was so afraid of being found out in the interview, which tends to be a behavior that you have or a feeling that you have if you do have imposter syndrome. So we had to work through some of these challenges with her before she could even really get into an interview and be successful. So here are the steps that we took. Um, you have to put that fear in perspective. An interview is not a judge and jury. This isn't like a dance competition. You don't have a judges panel sitting behind a desk necessarily. It may feel like that, but you really don't. It is a conversation about a piece of work. So they have a piece of work that needs to be done. They need somebody to do it. You potentially could be that person. They want to make sure that they can get the work done and that you're a pleasant person. And you want to make sure that they're a company that you want to work with and do you really want to do that work? So if you put the fear in perspective of the job interview of that it is just a conversation about the work, it's not so imposing, and that really worked with this client. But to reinforce that and to help a little bit more with the fear, we did a fact versus fiction exercise. And this helps to change the perceptions by really looking at what are they asking for? What is your audience or this group of people? What are they looking for? So we looked at the job description and we found out that pretty much 80% of that job, she had skills, qualifications, experience that she could talk to if they asked her about that 80%. There was a 20% part, and most of that again was about the technology. So I said to her, let's say that you got the job. What would you do in this case? What would you do if this was your role and this situation came up? And we came up with an answer. So in her case, she said, well, I would find the people who could actually do the hands-on keyboard technology part of it. And I said, well, then that's your answer, is that you find those stakeholders. So she was able to say, oh, okay, yeah, well, what do I do in the case of this if I already had the job? And it really helped frame how she was going to prepare for answering the questions in the interview. Now, beyond the interview, if you want to make a career change, you need to understand the broader picture of your image. So then we kind of, instead of the narrow focus on the interview, we went a bit wider about, okay, now it's a career shift, and here is what you have to do for your image. So first, you have to start doing things as your new image. I hate to tell you this, but image does equal reality. That's what my college professor told me. I didn't like it when I heard him say it, but it has stuck with me ever since then. And gosh darn it, he was right. So you have to look and sound and act like your new image. If you continue to do things as what you did in the past, people will not see you as your new image. So, one really good thing that I tell my clients to do is start putting those knowledge posts, giving your perspective as your new image on LinkedIn, in your socials, other places where people know you. Be that knowledge expert. Bring knowledge to the table about your new chosen image. So we started doing that. She had to stop doing the things that she had done in the past. So she had been a project manager, she had been in project delivery. So driving delivery were the things that she had to stop doing. Some of the habits that project managers have of, checking up on deliverables, scheduling meetings, making sure that the team is all delivering. No, that wasn't what she was supposed to be doing anymore. This is one of the hardest things for my clients to do, is break bad habits. Not that they were bad in the past, but as a new image, you have to stop doing these things. So this is something that she has to work on, and many people have to work on, is the stop part. And then the last part of it is the continue. Just because she had been a project manager in the past, we didn't want to take away the essence of some of the great things that project managers do. A lot of that is stakeholder management. So really understanding the needs of the business and the requirements of the business, and being able to speak the technical knowledge, that became a huge strength for her. It's not something she's supposed to be doing, but it's the way she's supposed to be thinking. So we wanted to continue bringing that aspect out about her, not just for the new job, but for her whole career. That becomes a superpower for her. So the results, she felt super confident in the interview. And I know that this is probably, the smallest part of the results, but as happy as she was getting out of that interview, coming out feeling confident, feeling like she nailed it. And she said, I do care if I get the job, but I don't care. I aced that interview. And she said, and nobody even asked me about the 20%. They liked me so much. It's like, well, yeah, exactly. If they like you, then the 20% that you don't meet those qualifications, they will figure it out if they like you enough, if they can see you doing this job. So of course she got the job. She accepted the job, and it's going really well. And that is the thing that they love about her, is that she balances the business need, really understanding business requirements, and helping to explain how does the technology then work towards a solution for what they're trying to solve. And she didn't stop with just the job, which is great. You can't just stop with just getting the job. You have to live your new image. So she is definitely active on LinkedIn, posting great content, showcasing her knowledge. She gets a lot of attention for it too. I follow her. I think it's great. I think she's doing fantastically. So living the new image is also something that brings a lot to the table and makes you look like that expert. So if you're looking for a career change, or even just a change to your image, it is actually closer than you think. It can be just like the client that I've just talked about, but you are on your own path. So I'd like to talk to you about that and how we can get you to where you want to be. So book a game plan call with me today.